Moving right along, y'all. I'm about to get this nasty taste out of my mouth from Mr. Aaron Bean and go right along with Mrs. Joyce Beatty, Congresswoman from Ohio's 3rd District. And she is a very, I wouldn't say complex, because she's very much, she grew up with it, y'all. She's 74 years old. She lived through Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights acts and this, that, and the other. So she's been in it. And going to her net worth, there are a lot of conflicting messages about her net worth. Apparently, she has a high net worth, but where she got her money from, I can't seem to find that, which is the case with most people that I'm looking at. And I'm really, really concerned by that fact. However, what I have seen, because I looked it up, she doesn't have any ties directly to any lobbyist groups or super PACs that donated heavily to her. So I believe that she may be someone who has generational wealth, or she may have married someone who had money. However, I don't know. Um, I really wish that when it comes to the net worth and what these individuals own was more transparent, because then it would have we would have as citizens a much easier time to find why they champion the things they champion. However, why I'm not too concerned about Miss Joyce is simply because she's done a lot. She was in Ohio's House of Representatives at the state level from 1999 to 2008, and she was the first woman to be a minority leader for the Democratic Party during that time. She has been a champion for equal rights for all minorities. She's been outspoken against, the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and there was an incident that occurred in Ohio that a individual was caught disposing of a miss, and didn't dispose of it in the correct manner, and they sought to go after her legally. She stood in the way, and she, with other lawmakers, and said, no, everyone agrees very differently, and this time we cannot go after this individual because they may not have known what to do at the time. You don't have, there's no way to really deal with something like that. And she's right. You have no idea in the moment, if something like this happens to you, how to deal with it. And so they sought to drop those charges. I'm not sure if that actually happened. However, I don't see anything about this individual being incarcerated. So I'm assuming they dropped the charges. I can go ahead and actually let me pause real quick and look that up to see the outcome, because I actually now want to know. I am absorbing so much information, so much data, that when I go through these things, I can go down every rabbit hole, but it would take me forever, especially with 435 of them. But I do think this is important enough to know what happened to this individual. So let me be right back. Yep. So I just looked it up, and thankfully, the criminal charges against the mother did go away. I do remember at the time that this came out, how this was all over the place, and Joyce Beatty and a lot of Democrats got behind this woman, and they said that a woman needs health care, not handcuffs. And so this is what Joyce Beatty is all about. She was also one of 9 protesters who ended up getting arrested because they were obstructing, and crowding and things like that in Washington D.C. after protesting the January Sixers thing. But this was back in July. So what happened in January? She wasn't going to let it go. A lot of people weren't going to let it go, and this was in July of 2021, if not mistaken, where she was occupying. And I do remember seeing this, where she was taken away in handcuffs. And so she's one of the good ones, I believe. It says that she does plan on running again. So when the time comes and it's time to pick someone, if she's on the ballot, Ohio, don't fail her, because she's actually out there doing the work. She's actually working to help with education. She's working for minorities. She's working for equality for all. And she's proven that. She wants people to become more fiscally responsible. So she's starting at the young age, going into schools and talking to kids about money, and how to save and things like that. So I do believe that she is good for the country. I do believe she's good for Ohio. If you disagree, if there's something that I'm missing, please let me know. She has been, um, called out for allowing gentrification. However, that's not something that she can control. Gentrification is something that's happening in a lot of areas that are quote unquote underdeveloped, and a lot of these lawmakers have allowed foreign entities and groups to infiltrate our housing market. So, as much as you want to say this is her fault, it goes much deeper than that. And I don't want to hold that against her. From everything that I've read about this individual, I have not been able to find anything that's bad. She's for the people. So I'm going to give her an A. She's good for the people.